So yesterday and the other day, I decided to watch the Mighty Ducks for no reason other than I just like to watch my 90s childhood movies. And I just like noticed something and I was just like, why? Why? Because you could have kept him in. There was no reason for you to like, because he was a main character. And I know in the Mighty Ducks, a lot of the time, from movie to movie to movie, some of the characters will actually not be in the next movie. So like in the first movie, there was a lot of ducks who were not in the second movie. And then this from the second movie to the third movie, I think the majority of the ducks end up in the third movie. But this one character was not there. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And that's this fine brother right here, okay? Jesse Hall, why were you not in the third Mighty Ducks? And I know in certain like black spaces and circles and things, it's been said that the reason that Jesse Hall was not in the third movie was because, you know, when you're in an ensemble cast, when it's not just like a black movie or whatever, but you're in like an ensemble cast where there's like different kinds of kids everywhere and everything, that there can only be like one black kid in the movie. And I didn't really like that because I was like, Jesse made these movies, okay? The first movie, D2, like, bro, why did you have to take him away? Okay? I loved his little sassy ass. He was so cute. And like, Brandon Adams is fine. Okay? But also, he's just a really, really good character because he was never going to take his foot off the gas with the pressure because every time he called Banks a little cake eater, I laughed. I laughed so hard. Every time he was giving it to Coach Bombay, I was like, exactly. Okay? Sometimes you gotta put our foot on the gas and never take it off. And then they just said, yeah, no, he's not coming back for D3. I was like, he would have ate at that boarding school. 8 down, okay? He would have 8 down. Now we know that D2 The Mighty Ducks came out. And around the time that Kenan was filming for D2 The Mighty Ducks, he was also auditioning for all that. And then he would become really famous for all that. And then by the third movie, because that came out in 96, he was like really popular. And he was really like big on Nickelodeon and such. And he was really, really popular. And then he would do Kenan and Kel the same year. And it was just the whole thing, right? And so I get it. Like when you really, really put it out there and think about it, like obviously Kenan at that time, for what it was, the bigger star. And I get it. But come on. Okay? Brandon Adams, he is the blueprint. He is the archetype, okay? And he deserved to stay in the movies. So I still don't understand why he was not in the third movie. I've never gotten an explanation for this, and I need to know why. Love Kenan down, okay? Love Kenan down. So glad he was in the second movie. Love him in the third movie. But I just wish Jesse had been there because I just feel like the energy would have been a little different. And yeah. But can we also talk about how this trilogy was stacked with fine people? Like, everybody in these movies was fine, bro. Like, you had Mike Vitar, who was right off the heels of The Sandlot, which is how I think he got this role, because I'm pretty sure that Brandon Adams probably talked about the fact that he was in this movie called The Mighty Ducks and how it was probably a lot of fun, and he was probably like, yeah, I was in that movie. And then Mike Vitar was probably like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna be in the second movie. Bet that. And I was like, oh, so randomly you're in the second movie? But it makes sense because y'all were in The Sandlot together and he probably told you about this movie, and then you were in the second movie. And I'm not even mad about it because I was like, yes, 2 fine people on my screen, 100%. 100%. Because The Sandlot and now this, here for it. Here for it down, okay? Luis, okay, you were fine. Except for you cannot skate for beans. It's not even your fault because I can't skate either, so hello. And I probably would never be able to stop either, so I kind of understood, but I was like, bro. But you were fine, so it was fine. You were totally fine. Especially in the third movie. Ugh. You were fine, okay? Okay? You were just fine. You were 90s fine, and you were just, yeah. But I also need you, Mike Vitar. I know that this is just asking a lot, but like I would love it if you just did this for me. I know they be having like reunions of like The Sandlot and The Mighty Ducks, And I don't see you at any of these reunions. And I know you're trying to like distance yourself from your little acting past, but just do it one time for me. I would love to see you at one of these reunions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Love you down, boo. But my favorite characters out of the whole movie have to be the Bash Brothers, okay? Fulton and Portman, iconic, okay? Iconic. Because when they got on the ice, they were knocking heads, and it was so great. And then every time that Portman would end up in the penalty box, and he would just start causing a ruckus, I was just like, yes, yes. And he fine too. He fine too. Oh my goodness. And he was on an episode of Sister Sister. Remember the episode of Sister Sister? It was like one of the first episodes of the series in like season 1. And Tia gets like this date with him. And he's like an older guy or whatever. And they meet at the grocery store. And then Lisa isn't trying to let her go on this date. But then Tamara has to go on like a double date with them just to be in the car. And then he ends up being like a loser because all he does is talk about random blah, blah, blah. And he's boring and stuff. And yeah, the day doesn't work out, but he was real cute. He was the singing voice for Max Goof on a Goofy movie too. Like, that is iconic, okay? Iconic. But yeah, these are my favorite characters on the whole movie. The Bash Brothers, okay? Taking down hockey players one Bash Brother at a time. And of course, we can't forget about our favorite goalie, Goldberg. Hello, he was iconic, okay? And shout out to Sean Weisman anyways. He is a few years sober. Love that for him down. Totally love that for him. Watching this, there's this video out there on the internet, and it's so freaking sad, but also so inspirational, of his recovery, and I just love him down, okay? From this, and of course heavyweights, like because he worked with Keenan a lot. So he worked on this, and he worked on heavyweights with Keenan, and also the main guy from Heavyweights, the movie with Ben Stiller, iconic by the way, was also in this movie. Well, not this movie, but like in the first Mighty Ducks. Love him down too. But Goldberg, iconic, okay? His little wisecracks. He was so funny. So awesome. So great. Shout out to Sean. Love him. Love him that he's in his recovery. Love him down. Totally iconic. Funny in Heavyweights. Love him. But you know what I thought was really interesting was that Coach Bombay, okay? Emilio Estevez. You know how they have like the casting and then they'll say like who's in the movie? He got like top billing and whatever. And I get it because he's Emilio Estevez and he was like huge in the 80s. But like, you were not even in D3 Mighty Ducks like that. You were in there, obviously, in a few shots, but you were not there like that, okay? You only came in the beginning to tell Charlie and them that you were not going to be their coach no more and that they had to go to this dumb boarding school. Then, too, you came back when Hans died. R.I.P., R.I.P., R.I.P. He was a good one. And then you were there to bail them out when they needed legal help to get their scholarships, to, keep their scholarships at the school. And you helped get, Portman to come be a part of the Mighty Ducks. So that's cute and everything. I'm glad that happened. But you were not really in it like that. You were in like a few scenes, but you were not in this movie like all like that. So I didn't really get it why you had top billing. But I mean, I get it because you're Emilio Estevez. But like also, I just don't get it. But yeah, like in the first movie, they have people in there that they never bring back for any of the other movies. Like they have this kid. Okay, the kid that's right up there at the top. If you are like a real 90s fan, you know that he was the kid in that one episode of Full House that was getting like abused by his dad, and like Stephanie had to like tell Uncle Jesse about how this kid in her class was being like abused by his dad and whatever. That kid. And then you also had Danny Tamborelli in the first Mighty Ducks, and he never comes back either. But then, he gets really famous on Nickelodeon too because he's in Pete and Pete, and then he obviously does all that and all that stuff. So yeah. And then you also had Jesse Smollett, and Jesse Smollett, we know what happens with him, so I'm not even gonna, but he also comes from a very famous family, but like, yeah, we know what happens with Jesse Smollett, but yeah. But I think D2 The Mighty Ducks is probably my favorite, and yeah, these are just great films, and I love to just go back and rewatch some of my childhood classics. So yeah, but Jesse Hall should have been in the third Mighty Ducks.